Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Good to see you guys. Hey, all right, Linda. Number one. There we go, girl. God bless. And Miss Justice, number two. This is like deja vu. Number two. And number three. Haley, all right. God bless. And let's go hunting down. Hey, much love to you, girl. Prayers, love, and justice for summer. Amen. And number Karen Hayes, number four in here tonight. All right. God bless. Hey Teddy, how you doing, sweetie? Hello, PG. Hello to you. Good to see everybody in here. Amen. Prayers for summer and all the missing kiddos. Absolutely. God bless. Purple. Aw, love for all the missing children and for PG. Aw, I appreciate that. God bless. Hey, Bridget, good to see you, girl. Let me see who else is in here. Another Linda. Hey, Linda, how you doing, sweetie? Lisa says, hey, PG, love you, beautiful lady. Hey, girl, much love to you. You know it. Riding solo. She said number six. Right. God bless. Aw, hey, my beautiful friends. Hey to you, girl. Aw, good evening, PG and everyone. Hey, Pamela Sue, how you doing, sweetie? Hello, PG mods and chat. Much love to you, girl. God bless. Debbie Sure, there you are. Howdy, everybody. You had me cracking up last night. You're so funny. Right, Lisa. You know, I'm going to tell you, um, the state's always there to, always there to blame you, but they're not ever there to help you, right? Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Join the Facebook if you ain't on Summer's Facebook. Right there's the link. Go friend request, and I will definitely accept you. Hey, I'm super sticker. All right. Hey, I appreciate that, Pamela Sue. Absolutely. God bless. I really do. Hey, Karen. Raised in the boondocks. PG's little girl. I see you, girl. Abby, how you doing, sweetie? Hey, Carrie. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody in here. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this case is a real tragedy, like a super tragedy. But I'm looking at this house and I'm thinking to myself, I haven't really got a real view of the inside of this place. I hear that there's like possibly fake photos floating around out here, in the YouTube world. I've seen a couple. And I don't know if they're real or not real, according to the mother's lawyer. Um, he believes that they possibly are fake. And then he went on to say, well, or illegal because they weren't supposed to be taking any, putting any pictures out, even if they were real. They said that law enforcement's boarded up all the windows and secured the crime scene. The crime scene, I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I've looked at these people. I mean, they didn't even call Summer's case a crime scene, right? They did not even call her case a crime scene. We got a totally missing little girl. Mother freaking family is lying through their teeth. Law enforcement pretty much knows, that it's foul play, that it is a damn crime scene, but they don't, put no tape around it. And I'm like, wow, what a difference, right? And it's just, like that's why people are all kinds of freaking confused, right? That's why humans are all kinds of confused. It's because of stuff like this, right? It's because of stuff like this. You're just like, did these people not see the Summer Wells case? I mean, if the law enforcement in Ohio think that this right here is a horror, you know, American Horror Show, well, they should see, Ben Hill Road, right? I wonder what the hell they'd have to say about that, personally, because I'm going to be honest with you. This place looks a hell of a lot better than Don Wells. I mean, it looks like somebody's cutting the grass. It looks like, somebody was keeping the outside of the house looking decent. I don't know. But they roped it off. They roped it all off. And, I mean, said there were 16 children in there living. And you got to admit, this house does look better than the one up on Ben Hill Road. Actually, the one across the street from Ben Hill Road. Actually, better than the one down the street from on Ben Hill Road. I don't know. I mean, I understand that this mother, they married her. What kind of parents did she have? What kind of parents did this girl have to marry her off to this guy at 14 or 15 years old? Who in the hell lets their 14, 15-year-old daughter get married? Who allows some family to take their 14, 15-year-old daughter in and just keep her? I don't even know. It sounds to me like, and look at her. Oh my gosh, look at her eyes. And she looks horrible. I mean, she looks like she's been put through, hell herself, right? She looks like she's been severely abused. That's just my opinion. I don't know. All the brothers said the parents were abusive to them. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that would definitely explain it. And it looks like, the parents were abusive, and then they put her into a household with more abusive people, right? Yeah, they had a wagon. There's a wagon. There's a bicycle. I heard the kids had computers and electronics inside of there. I don't know what was going on. I heard that she went to the hospital, some hospital in Ohio, and had twins that, that didn't make it. And, they said that the twins passed away natural causes. But I think after that, she might have started having all those kids at home because she was scared. Maybe she, maybe she just couldn't deal with, with her twins passing away like that, two babies at once. Um, Maybe she felt it was the hospital's fault. Maybe she didn't feel safe, um, going to hospitals anymore. I don't know what her problem was. Um, but they said she's talking good about her husband and stuff. And, she could just be brainwashed, right? Oh, she's pregnant again. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Wow. It seems like that those people were just using her for a baby factory. They haven't came out and told if she was getting any type of assistance for those kids. They haven't come out and told, I mean, that family, that man and his mom and dad, they may um they may have. I heard there wasn't birth certificates for half the kids, Patty. They were all born in a hospital. I heard there wasn't no birth certificates for them. Are you sure about that? Because I know there's a big dispute over they can't find birth certificates for half the children. I don't know. Oh wow, Stephanie, right? I think they are. I think all of those kids are hers. I think that family was using her as a baby. Do you know how wore down you would be if you had a child every time you're turning around? 16 children from the time you're 14, 15 years old. You're having one baby and sets of twins. I mean, there's no way this girl could take care of all of that. And I think her husband and those parents was, collecting a bunch of income and just keeping her pregnant to, for more and more money to come in. And possibly, it was all about the money, and nobody cared about the kids, and she was probably too damn tired. She was probably, it was probably her trying to keep them all alive to where they was at that particular time, and why they wasn't sending them to school or teaching them to walk and talk. And I don't know what the hell was going on in that house, right? It was weird. And look at Summer. You know, according to Allison and Jody Sue and some of the people, they say Summer couldn't talk too good. Kind of like these kids here, that they really couldn't communicate real good. I heard that the youngest boy of the Wells couldn't communicate real well with people as well, right? He couldn't, express himself like a normal child his age. So I don't know. It sounds like, practically the same scenario going on where, I think Summer and the youngest boy, because it seemed like the two older boys were the ones raising the younger boy in Summer. Every time you've seen them, I think other people was trying to teach the youngest boy in Summer, you know, to walk and talk and do everything. Um, these kids didn't have other people around them to, you know, to teach them to do anything. I mean, they needed help. This girl right there, she needed some help with those kids, and it looked like she wasn't getting it. It looks like that grandpa and that grandma and that son wasn't doing shit. And they was just, you know, using her as a baby factory and wearing her thin, to be honest. Yeah, that's true, Abby. That's true. It's been said they it's been said we're collecting any assist. You mean it's been said they were collecting, or they weren't collecting assistance because they wasn't collecting any assistance because they were running from child services. Okay, so they weren't. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that, Karen. Oil and sugar and something else. Yeah, I forgot the other item too. But I heard that they always came in and got three things. Yeah, you know, um, I don't know. I mean, when law enforcement's knocking at the door, all the kids could have ran into that particular room. It don't mean that they were staying in that room all the time. They could have all ran and hid in that room, you know, because law enforcement was there. Kids are afraid of law enforcement. The elderly brought in Social Security money, and the husband was doing DoorDash. Oh, wow. The Dollar General lady said they got E&T card. Oh yeah, they have two vehicles. Yeah, they got two vehicles in the yard. There's a truck and there's a car in the yard. Absolutely. I mean, look inside there. There's something in there. Hold on, I tell you. I'm trying to see. There's a bunch of boxes on the floor. Um, there's a cat on the porch. There's a cat underneath that chair. And it looks like there's some kind of cat food or dog food sitting on the porch right there. Cat food and dog food. Oh, there's a there's a gas can sitting right there too on the porch. You see that red gas can right there by the chair? And then there's a cat, and then they got food sitting out for either the cat or a dog. And there's boxes all over the place. I don't know what that white thing is all rolled up inside of there. It looks like they got some kind of TV stand sitting in there that hasn't got nothing on it, like nothing on it inside there. I'm wondering if that state is trying to make more out of this than it is. I don't know, because I heard they're getting big funding, like millions of dollars worth of funding over this case. Oh wow, this place is a wreck. It is a wreck in there. Look at that. There's some kind of baby high chair or something right there. So the kids must not stay in the room all the time because right there's like a baby high chair out here in this room. Looks like, looks like a kid's been out there. And it looks like that might be a changing table or something right there next to whatever that thing is. Man, this is what you call real love, right? This is what you call real love. Man, when you stay with somebody and live like this, oh my God. Oh hell no. Hell no. Absolute. What is that? Bug spray? Look at that. And a bag of marshmallows right there. Look like or maybe diaper wipes. I don't know. Look like bug spray and diaper wipes, maybe. Right there in the window. What the hell? Somebody took a picture of it. Wait a minute. Does it look like that the inside of that place ain't that's just I mean, I'm hoping that's a shadow on the outside, but looks like there's no drywall on the walls in there. Looks like somebody was getting ready to remodel and didn't finish it. I don't know, that could be the porch and the outside showing. What the heck is it? They got a bicycle wheel. Look at all that junk. Look at what was he doing with all them boxes? Look at all them boxes. What the hell was them boxes for? I don't even know. Oh, there's a kid, a little horse for a child right there. There's the two vehicles, a truck and a car. And there's the house. The house ain't even that big. I mean, it sounds like they moved in on his parents with 16 kids, right? Like they didn't have no place else to go and they moved in with the parents. Now the parents are in jail. Oh, those are food bank boxes. I didn't know. Yeah, that's a 12 by 12 room. Look at all the kids. That's what it would look like. That's what it would look like with all the kids in it. There's the old man, the old woman, and the two young ones on the porch. Wow. They should have really added on to that place. They should have, added on to that place. I mean, this is what it looks like was going on in there, right here. Like she was in there having one kid after the other, and they were all, not learning nothing because nobody was teaching them anything. And I heard Grandpa was in trouble, for indecent exposure, right? And I heard that Grandpa supposedly when they were transporting him, something happened to Grandpa. I mean, at the beginning, I heard that he fell. Somebody said he had taken a pretty good fall and got put into the hospital. Now they're calling it a casualty, that he had a health casualty that put him in the hospital. I don't know. There they are. Look at them. God have mercy. God have mercy. I mean, Grandpa scary as hell, right? He'd be like scary. Grandma's pretty scary too. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, yeah, I guess it could be a horror movie, you know? Like one of them horror movies where the people move into this house and all of a sudden they see Grandpa, you know, walking through the hallways and they see Grandma in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, that would be freaky. And then this chick and her old man, it would be scary to see them. You open up your eyes and see her standing by the bed looking at you. What the hell? With them red eyeballs and shit. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. That'd be some scary stuff right there. I'm going to tell you how bad this place was. Law enforcement was standing outside, pulling everything through the window because nobody wanted to go inside, right? Oh, wow. There's a whole bunch of bugs in there. Ooh, no, I didn't get to see that video. I ain't seen that. Wow. Yeah. Oh, hell to the no-no. Hell to the no-no. I mean, when they went to that dollar store, they needed to get some borax and some sugar and, you know, they need to get some baking soda. They needed to be making some, get rid of the bugs. Stuff, right? They need to be whipping up some, well, the kids, you know, those kids were pretty hungry. So that might not have been a smart idea either. Right here, look at this. There's a bicycle, pretty much tore apart, but it's a bicycle. Whole bunch of boxes. All of this stuff was inside the window. I was like, how did all? Because I saw one picture with all this stuff inside the window, and I was like, how in the hell did all this stuff get out into the yard? You know, like, see all the stuff. That's where the police were pulling it all through the window, and they was throwing it out into the yard. There it is. There it is. Look. All law enforcement was pulling all of this stuff through the window, throwing it into the yard. They didn't even want to go inside. They was scared. They were scared. I heard that, you know, I heard that their fragile minds are, you know, like destroyed forever and stuff. It's from what they're saying. After seeing this, I don't know. Yeah. Wow. There's somebody, you see that? It looks like somebody's standing up there by that window. Look straight where the little window is. Looks like somebody's standing back there looking in. Standing in the yard back there. That's scary. That looks like a human standing back there at the side of the house looking into that little window. Do you guys see it? Go straight through the yard, past the porch, past the door, past the first two windows to the little window in the back. And it looks like there's somebody standing there. They're either standing outside or maybe looking out from inside. I don't even know. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. Law enforcement had to go in there and smell all that stuff. They had to go in there and sniff it up, right? They was upset. They was totally upset. You know, they might have been, you know, a couple of them that had to sniff it up. that was transporting Grandpa, because something happened to Grandpa. You know, them cops can be pretty mean. They could get pretty rough, after having to smell all that. They probably took them in there, hosed them down, right? Trying to get some of that stench off. Like, whoa, unbelievable. But look at them; they still don't look like they get. Look at his. Like Grandpa. I watched this, and Grandpa, he looked like he looked like he had Alzheimer's or something, right? Dementia going on, or Alzheimer's. Like he wasn't understanding shit. And then his son right there, Junior, he looks like he might have a touch of Down syndrome or something. I mean, something ain't right there, in my opinion. And Grandpa might want a DNA, because that kid right there don't look like he belongs to Grandpa either. I'm just saying, I seen Grandma and Grandpa, and he don't look like he belongs to either one of them. And then you got these two, and I don't know, their hair might look a little cleaner since they got put in jail. They, like I said, they probably hosed them down. So I don't know. Their ass is all in jail.
He's rescued 16 children from an Ohio house where they had reportedly been living in one small room, with human waste all around. The children's parents, Elizabeth and Gary SIDERS Jr., and grandparents, Christina and Gary SIDERS Sr., have all been charged with 16 counts of felony child endangerment. All 4 adults waived their right to a preliminary hearing, and special prosecutors have been appointed to the case, which will be heard in Vinton County, Ohio. A broken child's bicycle pokes out of a pile of rubbish in front of a small, run-down beige house surrounded by yellow crime scene tape. But it is what authorities found inside that was truly heartbreaking. 16 children, with human waste all around, who had been allegedly confined to a single 3.5 square meter room for much of the past 4 years. Authorities were appalled by the squalid conditions when they executed an unrelated search warrant on that small dilapidated home in the tiny Ohio town of Hamden last month. Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson described the 16 children, who range in age from 18 months to 18 years, as looking like almost feral animals. "It was terrible," he said. "The 18-year-old can't spell their name." The children's parents, Elizabeth and Gary SIDERS Jr., and grandparents, Christina and Gary SIDERS Sr., were arrested and each charged with 16 counts of child endangerment. Neighbors in the small town of fewer than 1,000 people said that they did not know children were even living at the house.
Now, Don and Candace both had accounts of, neglect, and they, when Child Protective Services finally had to go in there and do something, they said that, the Wells house was dangerous as well, right? It was dangerous. All the wires hanging around, and all the, that the place was a danger to them children. But Don and Candace didn't get charged with child endangerment. I mean, this right here shows us that Ronnie Lawson had every right to arrest the Wells and didn't. He had every right and opportunity to arrest them for child endangerment, for child neglect, for everything under the sun, right? Even SA abuse and everything else. And they were not arrested at all. Can somebody please tell me why? Can someone tell me why these motherfuckers wasn't arrested for doing what they done to them 3 boys and that poor little missing girl? Because I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Why the hell did Ronnie Lawson, why did that law enforcement allow these people to get away with that type of cruelty, that type of evilness, when everyone else is arresting people for it? What the hell is going on there? What the hell's going on? That's what I want to know. Oh, yeah. I heard today that Seth is. I heard he is actually putting a lawsuit against law enforcement in Tennessee over his son and them not doing everything they could do to find his son. Yeah. Like, Tennessee law enforcement just seems to not give a rat's ass about nothing or nobody, right? You come up missing, that's your problem. They don't even care. I mean, Mike, if it ain't going to benefit them some way, they're not even going to mess with you. What I'm saying is if it ain't going to make the state money, if it's going to cost the state, they're not going to bother with you. Anything that costs the state, they don't go after. Now, if it's going to make the state money, they'll go after it. I'm going to tell you, this world right here is all about the dollar. It is becoming all about the dollar. And, it's no more, about righteousness. It's about the money. Like, nobody cares about righteousness. All they care about is what they can, what they're able to capitalize off of it.
My grandkids and my kids, we've all walked up and down that street. There's never been a sign of any child, one Hamden resident told WOWK 13 News. As a mother and a grandmother, I just don't understand the logic. Questions are being asked about how such a large family flew under the radar for so many years and why authorities did not intervene earlier. Investigators are reviewing whether the family was reported to any children's services agencies in the past. The lives of the SIDERS children were unlikely to ever be easy, with their mother a child bride. Gary Jr. married Elizabeth Russell on March 31, 2008. Elizabeth was 15 and Gary was 18. They married in Mason County, West Virginia, just across the state border from Gallipolis, Ohio, where they were living. At the time, the marriage laws in Virginia allowed children under 18 to marry, as long as they had permission from their parents and a judge. They had their first child a few months later. Elizabeth's education stopped at 8th grade and Gary Jr.'s at 9th grade, according to News Nation. Multiple media organizations reported that Gary Jr. worked at DoorDash at some stage, but the timing is unclear. Since being removed from the house, the children have been placed in temporary state custody and are receiving medical care as authorities continue investigating. 7 were taken to hospitals around the state to be evaluated, with 2 flown by Care Flight Services to trauma centers, 1 in a critical condition. Ohio local media reported that there were 2 sets of twins among the 16 children. As well as the surviving children, records show that Elizabeth had twin daughters, Bailey Lee Siders and Faith Lee Siders, who were both born and died on November 20, 2022, at Riverside Methodist Hospital in Columbus, Ohio. Bailey Lee and Faith Lee were delivered prematurely at 24 weeks and diagnosed as thoracopagus conjoined twins, a condition where twins are joined at the chest. Their deaths were ruled natural causes. Not one of the 16 children was enrolled in school, according to investigators, and all had limited communication abilities. Vinton County Sheriff Ryan Kane said that one of the investigative challenges was talking to the children. They can communicate, but it's extremely limited and some not at all, he said. The scene is horrific and these are horrific allegations. Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson said the family had links to different areas of Ohio, including to Jackson County and Pike County, and possibly Wisconsin. Members of the family moved around southern Ohio over the past 2 decades and avoided leaving a paper trail, including a lack of birth certificates. Documents showed that Gary Jr. and Elizabeth SIDERS had lived in several different locations across Ohio since their marriage in 2008. The couple lived in a trailer park in Gallipolis, Gallia County, in 2008, Cheshire in 2022, and in a different house in Hamden. Facing court. When Gary Jr., Gary Sr., Christina and Elizabeth SIDERS initially appeared in court, a judge entered not guilty pleas on their behalf and set bond at US $300,000 each. None of the 4 posted bond, so they were all taken into custody. They were due for preliminary hearings, but just before proceedings were set to begin, a Vinton County judge informed media that they had all waived their right. But after a medical episode, a judge varied Gary Sr.'s conditions. Vinton County Prosecutor William Archer told CBS Ohio affiliate 10 TV that the county had been facing extensive medical expenses due to Gary Sr.'s condition, that could potentially bankrupt the county. It was agreed that Gary Sr. would be released on his own recognizance, meaning he did not have to post a bail bond to receive medical treatment. If he were to be released from hospital, he would be required to wear a GPS monitor. Elizabeth's lawyer Thomas Stolley told 10 TV that he was
So, right there, they said that if he were to be released from the hospital, he would be required. So that means they're expecting him to pass away. Whatever happened, whatever went down as they were transporting him, they are expecting it to, they're expecting him to not make it. They're expecting him not to ever get out of the hospital. You got to wonder what really happened. I mean, they said he took a really bad fall. So, and they seem to, the court seemed to all of a sudden not care about his bail. We're gonna forget about that. We're releasing you on your own recognizance and all this good shit after whatever took place. That sounds like, whatever happened to him may have been caused by the people transporting him. May have been done unintentionally or intentionally. We don't know. But, it seemed to have happened on their watch. Whatever happened to this old man seemed to happen on their watch. I don't know. I can't say one way or another, you had an 8th grader and a 9th grader getting together and having 16 kids, one after the other, and possibly 17 now. If she's going to have another one, that would be 17. And it seems like, they haven't had no help whatsoever. Like, it's like nobody has stepped in to, like, the state ain't ever stepped in to try to help them, with all these kids. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people feel that if they ain't got education, the kids don't need an education, and they're moving around so much, they might have felt that, they didn't want to put up with. I mean, how are you going to put your kids in school if you're moving all the time? But there is homeschooling. I mean, there is homeschooling. I mean, my grandparents could read and write and everything. Matter of fact, my grandparents were pretty intelligent, and my grandmother and my grandfather, they were mostly taught at home. They lived way back, way back in when people were farming, and it wasn't this kind, this easy stuff for them. And, I mean, they were living when you had to wash your own dishes. You had to make your own toast. You had to, wash and dry your own clothes. My grandparents might have had a wringer washer. I don't know. I don't know if they had washers and dryers at that time. I just know that, they were older, and their parents were super old, right? So, but they could read and write. They talked, and acted all normal and everything. What the hell went wrong here? What went wrong in all of this? Because, I mean, probably my grandparents went to one-room schoolhouses, and, or maybe didn't go to school at all. Maybe they were just taught at home. I don't know. But I do know they could read and write. I know that they could, run a business. I know that they were smart. What the hell went wrong in this house? How come these kids couldn't talk? How come these kids couldn't, communicate? How come they couldn't? I mean, you would think that that this woman and man would, and those grandparents would raise the older kids to help the mother with the younger kids. If they were having so many children, they would, raise the older ones to be able to walk and talk and be normal and help with the younger kids, and make the younger kids, be able to talk and walk and do everything. I mean, I don't understand this shit. He's still in the hospital, Stephanie. Grandpa's still in the hospital. I don't think they're expecting him. The kids did. The kids, they act like it was a big deal, went to the hospital. Them kids were released the next day. The 6 kids went to the hospital, only stayed one day, and were released. The other 2 kids that they're saying critical or whatever, no. They're in the hospital, but they're not critical. They're expected to be released too. So I don't know. It sounds like they made this sound way, way, way worse than it was, according to her lawyer. According to her lawyer, the state was trying to make it sound way worse. And to my understandings, they got like $1 million. That state got like $1 million to help with those kids. If they could give $1 million to the state to help with them kids, then how come they couldn't give $500,000 to them parents to help raise them? To put to put them in a clean house, to put them in clean clothes, to, help these parents get organized and raise these kids right. I don't know. The state don't, the state gets a ton of help, but the people, going through all of this don't ever get anything. They don't get anything except scrutinized. If they mess up, I don't know. Yeah, her and her husband they even named the 2 children that passed away. They even named the 2 children who passed away as well. They were naming the children. Yes. That's an awful small house. I mean, any way you look at it, it was neglect. It was total neglect. I mean, I don't think we know everything yet. I think law enforcement, knows more about all of this than we do. And, I don't think, I don't think they're in a cult. I don't think they're a cult at all. I think they're just, I just think they're super, super uneducated, backwooded, poor, poor low life people. That's, the best that I can put it, you got to be pretty nasty not to take a bath. You know what I'm saying? You got to be pretty mother freaking nasty not to take a bath, not to, to wash yourself up. Or wash, bath your children. I mean, I don't give a damn if you have to boil water on the stove and pour it in a mother freaking tote and wash your children up. You need to wash your kids. You need to be bathing your kids. You need to be washing their clothes. You need to be, you need to be doing something. Oh, hell no. Hell no. I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't care if you have a storm and the electric's all gone and no hot water, you better go outside, light the grill up, start boiling water. Right? You better be boiling some hot water, packing that water to bath your kids. You better be packing that water to bath yourself. You better be, I mean, what the freak? How in the hell does people not stay clean? You ain't got no electric. Okay. Scrub your clothes on a washboard. Go back to the 1800s and scrub them damn clothes up, wring them out by hand, and hang them outside on the line so your ass could put on something clean. You know, work that ass. They should, they didn't need to be having more kids. They need to be working their ass to take care of the kids they had. I mean, how do you jump in bed with somebody that smells like that? That's disgusting. I don't know. I guess, they all smell the same, but that's just disgusting. I don't know. This is a horrible case. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie at all. I mean, this is like a Candace and Grandis case, where people's afraid to put their toes in the water. It's really weird. Some guy said he helped them pay the water bill so they could have water. Wow. Some guy should have bought him a bar of soap and told him when they go to the dollar store, get more of it and start using it. Somebody should have bought him a clothesline. Told him, start washing their damn clothes, hanging them out there. And I mean, I'm going to tell you now, this girl and this guy, 8th and 9th grade, I don't care. You still know to take a bath. You still know to keep your stuff clean, right? I don't care. You know to take a bath and stay clean, man, when you're 4 and 5 years old. When you're 4 or 5 years old, you know to go into the bathroom, wash your hands, right? So you can eat lunch, so you can eat breakfast, or you can eat dinner. You know to go wash your hands. You've been outside playing, go wash your hands. Don't come to the kitchen table without washing your hands. You know that you're supposed to, take a shower every day. You're supposed to, bath every single day. You're supposed to put on clean clothes. Don't take a bath and put on dirty clothes. You take a bath and put on clean clothes. And you wash your dirty clothes. Fold them back up and get ready to wear them again on another day. It's just nasty. And you got to keep your house clean. I mean, look at Little House on the Prairie, okay? Those people had mother freaking wood floors or dirt floors, but they kept them clean, right? They kept everything clean. These people were cooking in wood stoves, and they were keeping everything clean. They had to go down to a freaking creek and beat their clothes off of a rock. And then take all them wet clothes back and hang them on a line. And then go out and get them off that line. And fold them up. But they did it. They did it. It came naturally to me. I mean, when I see, I seen other people clean, I want to be clean too. When I see other people with nice, clean clothes on, I want to wear nice, clean clothes too. It should come naturally. When you see people, people who don't stink, you don't want to stink too, right? It should come naturally. Nobody want to be smelling your funk. That's gross. The people in the dollar store said that the stench won't ever, that they'll remember that stench for the rest of their life. Man, that's got to be bad. That's got to be bad. Like, the only stench that I thought a human could never get past is when somebody becomes unalived, right? I thought that's the only stench that, that was like forever traumatizing. I just found out that, some people don't have to pass away to traumatize you with their smell. Just saying. I know, PG's little girl, I didn't get a chance to. Girl, when I got off here last night, the only thing I was thinking about was raiding the kitchen and going to bed. That's it. I wasn't thinking about doing nothing else. I was tired. Oh, I bet it wasn't pleasant, girl. I'm gonna tell you, Denny, right? all I'm glad is we didn't have to smell it. I'm just glad that we were able to escape that, right? And I hope I don't ever meet nobody that smells like that. I've been traumatized enough in my life. I don't need that shit too. I don't think anybody needs that. But this is like a horrifying, absolutely horrifying case. And it looks like Grandpa ain't gonna make it.
Looking into whether she could also be a victim and was seeking to lower her bond. He said in a court filing that she was not a flight risk, could not afford bail, was willing to wear a GPS monitor and, as the children had been removed, there was no further risk to them. She was crying and exhausted when he met with her on Thursday, Mr. Stolley told AP. My client's first question to me when I walked into the jail and introduced myself was about her kids, he said. She asked if her children were okay, she asked if I knew where they were, and she asked when she'd be able to see them again. He said he was not able to answer those questions. But I thought it was telling that her first concern was not, when can I get out of jail, but was, are my children okay? Mr. Stolley said. Dorian Bong, who is representing Gary Sr., said he had concerns for his client's health, filing a motion to determine if he was competent to stand trial. Gary Jr. is also facing unrelated charges of indecent exposure.
Oh, so it's Gary Jr. that is facing charges of indecent exposure. I thought it was the grandpa, but no, it's the younger one. Wow. Yeah, I think we're going to start hearing a whole lot more, some other things about all of this. Just saying. That's my opinion. I don't think we know it all yet. It seemed like it traumatized the whole, a whole mother freaking community and law enforcement and everything. Even the state, right? Even the state. And when that old man became a liability, could break, their community. they sent him elsewhere, right? They got him out of there. Like, you know, they weren't seeking to go broke. And they do that. They let a lot of people out of jail if they're, if they're in their last days, if they're like, their medical issues are so severe that, they're in their last days, they'll let them out and send them off. Just to keep, from the liability of the medical bills. The state don't want to pick that up. But I would have thought, how would it break the state for grandpa medical bills? Wouldn't he, I mean, he's so old and they're on Social Security. Wouldn't his you know wouldn't his Medicare pick all of that up? And I wonder if they owned that house or rented it. Does anybody know if they owned that house or if they were renting it? Was that grandma and grandpa's home? Did they own that place or were they renting from someone? Right, Abby? I don't care. You know what? I wouldn't have cared if I got married at 12 years old. My house would have been spotless. You know, I always liked cleaning. I always liked to sweep and mop. I always liked to, help wash windows and wipe down the tables and chairs. And, I liked cleaning. I liked to go into a room and clean it corner to corner and walk out and look at it. Just stand there and look at that masterpiece, right? Watch it shine. Look how beautiful it looks, when it's spotless. I was always like that. I was like that, as a very young kid. I always liked everything clean. I loved it, like I come from a big family. You could make a room spotless and 10 minutes later, they done destroyed it. But like my grandparents' house, oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Always spotless, But all their kids were grown up and married and gone and stuff too, right? But I always liked, corner to corner clean. I always, admired people who kept a beautiful, clean house. Hell, I'll jump in and help you clean it. I like clean houses. Oh yeah, let me tell you something. Little man, I mean, my infant, my little man. Let me tell you something. He does not want to go to sleep until he gets his bath every single day. Every evening, he looks forward to getting his bath. He loves getting his bath. That child's like a freaking duck to water. And he really likes taking his baths. I don't understand it. I do not understand, how people cannot bathe their children, put them in all these cute little, clothes and I don't know. I have no idea. Unbelievable. Oh, I tell you, see, no way. No way am I going to put him, no way. Like my husband, you know, he wants, give me little man, when he's in the swimming pool. Give me little man. No, 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 hell no. Uh-uh. Ain't going to do it. Um, no, because, that dry drowning, that's like, I don't even want to deal or think about that. Nope. I'll wait till I'll wait till little man's older and and take him, get him swimming lessons. I think every child should swim, but I think they should be older, older when they learn. So they know, uh-uh. I'd be crazy. I'd be crazy. Um, it would make me crazy just, wondering if he got a gulp of water or not, or, I can't handle that kind of stuff. No. Yeah, exactly, Bridget, right? Right? Like I go to my girlfriend's houses and stuff, and like I'm always like picking up and wiping and cleaning and you know, they're like, sit down, hang out. I'm like, no, let's pick up and clean up and then we'll sit down. They're like, you're always such a clean freak. That's what they call me, a clean freak. That's okay with me. For me, that's a compliment. I don't get offended by being called names like that. Right? Call me a clean freak. Yes, that's what I am. That's true. That's true. I will not deny it. I like clean. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm going to tell you something, Annie. You are so right. Because there is people in this world who are, they don't got 2 cents to rub together. But I tell you what, they keep their house clean. They keep their house clean and they can put a meal together from nothing. I mean, some of the best food you ever ate from nothing. I mean, just from scratch, right? From scratch. The best food you ever tasted. I'm going to tell you something. There is no reason. Um, Cleanness is next to godliness. You know what I'm saying? You should keep everything clean. Even the woman in the Bible wanted to keep everything clean, right? She wanted to keep everything clean. She liked to cook. She liked to everything to be proper. And there's no room for laziness. No room for laziness. Right. I'm going to tell you something. I have walked into people's houses. Have you ever been in a hoarder's house? Have you ever been in one of those houses, man, where there's a path? There's a path that goes from one door to another. Like there's shit everywhere, stacked up as tall as you are. They got it in the corners. They got it. I mean, you can't sit down because the shit's everywhere, and you don't know where all this stuff, what it is or where it came from, and it's just all over the place. And I'm going to tell you something. When I go into a place like that, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I got to go home. I got to go home. I gotta scrub. I gotta scrub my whole mother freaking house down. I gotta do I gotta do a thorough like spring cleaning for real. I gotta do one of them spring cleanings like um I be throwing shit away that I just bought. It's like why'd I buy this? I don't know. Throw it in the trash. I can't do this shit. Those houses, man, they make me all paranoid and shit. Like, um, you, you're in fear that you might, I go to the stores. If I don't have somewhere to put what I'm going to buy, I walk away. I see all kinds of beautiful stuff. And then I think to myself, well, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put it? What wall are you going to hang it on? What corner are you going to set it in? What space do you have that is vacant and needs something? And a lot of times I can't think of anywhere I have to put this. So it stays there. I'm like, I ain't taking it. I'm not going to become one of them hoarder people. Hell no. Can't fucking do it. Yeah, those people scare me. And I'm going to tell you what scares you. I'm looking for shit to crawl out from underneath it or something, somebody to pop a head out and look at me. I'm like, damn, I just don't like being in a place where, where there could be anything and you can't see it. It's like haunting to me. It's haunting when you walk into places like that. It's like, oh, hell no. You go in a place, where these people open a closet and shit starts falling out like a booby trap. It's like, what? Yeah, I don't like that either. You be getting hit on the head, freaking living with a concussion for a few days and shit. That's what I'm talking about. Like, people's like my grandmother, for instance, she'd be like, child, run in there to the closet and grab me out some dish towels or grab me out some paper towel or grab me out some detergent. And I run through there and open grandma's closet. And I'm going to tell you something about grandma's closet. Baby, that thing was organized. It was organized, like for real. Paper towel, stacked nice. Everything stacked nice. And I mean, it was all in order, right? Like her pantry. All in order. And I'm like, whoa, I love this. I love this. I didn't have to dig and push and pull and look for nothing. It was just right there. I grab it and run back. But then I've been to other people's houses and they'd say, could you get something? Could you grab something out of that closet over there? Oh yeah, you always want to be helpful. I wish I wasn't. Sure. You open that closet up, man, and here comes something out at you. You're like, what the fuck? Really? Man, I didn't come here for a fucking heart check, right? I go to the doctors for those. What the hell? Just jumped out at me. I don't even know. Be scaring me up and shit. People got dangerous closets. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I like grandma's closet. Everybody should keep grandma's closet. I wish my little girl would keep grandma's closet. I opened her closet. Opened her closet the other day. And in this closet, it's supposed to be nothing except her winter clothes, right? Her winter clothes. Her fall and winter stuff. Because in the spring, I do spring cleaning. I move all the fall and winter stuff to that particular closet, her clothing. And I put the spring and summer clothes out into her new space, her new closet in her room. So, with that being said, I opened her closet because I was going to put a couple of jackets in there that she had left out laying around, and I cleaned them up, washed them up, dried them, everything, hung them up, and I went to put them away. And I opened her closet up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I was tripping over shit. I was like, what the hell is going on in here? So I hit the light, and she's got all this stuff, right? It's on the floor. It's all over the place. All this, this jewelry boxes, knickknacks, one thing and another, the stuff that she takes out of her room so she can put other stuff in there. I said, oh, hell no. This ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work for me. I had to call her. I said, what the hell's all this? What is this? Why would you lay it all over why didn't you put it in a tote? If you don't want to keep it in your room and you feel like you're going to need it later, then why did you not bubble wrap it up, put it in a tote, and put the tote in the closet? Why did you not do that? Because I might have wanted it. And then I have to go through the whole tote. Okay? That's why it's lined up all over the damn floor for me to trip over when I'm trying to put something away. She don't make no sense. She does not make no sense. For real. That's my child. Yeah. That she wants to be able to see it so she can grab it in case she wants it. I'm going to tell you what I was about to grab. I was about to grab a hold of her. I'm going to tell you. Oh, hell no. Hell no. That child keeps my blood pressure up. She really does. She keeps me alive. That girl keeps me alive. She keeps me moving. You're right. I'm going to tell you something. Little Mr. Fix-It does that, Denny. Little Mr. Fix-It. I promise you. You go around a corner, he'll give you a heart check. For real. He loves to do that. He loves to wait for you to come around the corner and jump out. I'm going to tell you something. Man, that child. Right? Right, Sean? Exactly. I'm going to tell you something. That is so true, girl. That is so true. And I'll tell you why. Because listen to this. I seen this homeless person, right? And this is the funniest thing because it was actually at one of my family members. Um, but this homeless man, I don't know where he came from. I don't even care. But I pull up in my vehicle, right? Um, to visit up my family member. I pull up in the vehicle, and this homeless guy has their water hose bathing himself. He's actually taking a bath with their water hose. Man, I thought that was the funniest freaking thing I ever seen in my life. Right? That was the it cracked me up. and, and they were like hiding up inside the house, calling Popo. They was calling Popo to come out there and get him. I thought that was the funniest thing. Right? And then right after that they moved. They moved. Homeless people using their water hose to take a bath. That's the funniest shit. and and the only thing they had to say about it is he was running up their water bill. Right? And they were running up their water bill. That was some funny stuff, girl. Even homeless people, they do what they got to do to stay clean. That is funny. Homeless people will actually go and buy those jugs of water. They'll buy jugs of water. They'll go into gas stations. Hate homeless people. Homeless people will go in a gas station and literally go in there and take a bath. They'll use the sink water and make a hell of a mess inside of the bathroom, taking a bath. Right? They go in there with a big old freaking cup and a bar of soap and take a full bath and walk out and leave that floor freaking mess. And the gas station attendants, they just get angry. That's why a lot of gas stations, won't let you use the restrooms because of the homeless people in their bathing. That's funny stuff. Where is Lori tonight? I don't know. I haven't seen my bucket list has holes. I've been worried about her. We need to send some prayers up for her. God bless her. I haven't seen her. I love that woman. Oh, I appreciate that little PG. Absolutely. If you ain't hit the thumbs up, please do. there's some people probably go through a car wash, right? Go in a car wash and wash their clothes, hang them up on those little things, where you hang up your rugs. They probably be hanging up their clothes, spraying them. Hit the soap and then hit the rinse. Right? Oh yeah, absolutely. PJ's little girl. God bless her. I don't know where she's at or what's going on. but I sure do miss her. I miss her when she's not here. Every single night, as we go out of here at the end of the night, our bucket list, she always puts up these real beautiful prayer hands, and you know, she just supports Summer so much, especially at the end of the night. I look forward to, you know, her her hearts, and you know, the beautiful art she designs as we go out of here each night for Summer and the missing kids. It's amazing. And when she's not here, you know, she always, you know, brings those, you know, at the end of the night. And I look forward to them. I look forward, you know. She's a beautiful soul. God bless her. My daughter used to take my oldest grandsons and husband's baseball uniforms to the car wash and power wash the dirt out of them. And there you go. There you go. I didn't think anybody would do such a thing, but I was right. You know, where there's a will, there's a way, right? My little Mr. Fix It is on a new project. He was on a new project recently. Let me tell you about his project. He told me, he said, Mama, I said, what? He says, I'm going to fix this. I said, I don't think so. No, I know I can do it. I said, son, I don't think so. Well, at least let me try. I said, son, I think the word's no. Come on, I can do it. I said, son, I don't like you trying to fix certain things. Let's leave that to a professional. Oh, come on, Mama. I can fix that. I said, oh, shit. Okay. Go ahead. Give it a try. Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you something. I can't say he wasn't doing a pretty professional job at the beginning. But let me tell you something. Somewhere it went wrong. Somewhere it went very wrong. I said, son, what happened? He said, oh, I grabbed the wrong paint. I said, you sure the hell did. You sure the hell did. And now we got a problem. All right. I'm going to tell you, that little Mr. Fix It, oh, shit. Between him and my daughter, I don't even know. He tried to start on another project today. He tried to start on another one. I told him, I said, I don't think so. But he's still thinking about it. That scares me. Right here. Right here. Take a look at that. Take a look at it. There you go. 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 There you go.
Did it come home? There.
I don't see her coming home.
You
don't see someone coming home. Where? How? Why?
Look at that. Look at that. This is the Wells house. Now remember, they didn't go to jail. They didn't, no arrest here. No arrest here. And a child's completely missing. No arrest. None. But here, 4 people. 4 people arrested. 4 people arrested. Nobody came up missing. Nobody came up missing. But they're all 4 in jail. Here, a 5-year-old innocent little girl comes up missing. Look at this. Take a look at that. Yeah. But nobody goes to jail. Nobody. Here's what Don Wells has to say.
Did it come home? You guys are ready. You guys are there.
I don't see her coming home. You don't see Summer coming home. When? How? Why?
You just gotta have faith.
I don't see Summer coming home. I don't see Summer coming home, Domwell says. How? Why? Right? How? Why? I don't see her coming home. Of course not. Of course not. And Candace sitting there like, you don't see Summer coming home? You don't see it? Hell no, Candace, because he already knows what you and Grandis went to the swimming hole with Hunter and Dunn. He already knows about you going down to Fred's house, meeting up with old chatty boy and leaving. Knows what you done. Hell, he was right there when it was all being planned. That's why he was driving a Subaru, firing his co-worker, looking for extra alibis. Come on.
Statistically speaking, I mean, there's a good chance she's already dead if you look at it statistically. And I hate to think that. I love her with all my heart, but only God, you know, if nothing else, you know, I'll see her in the resurrection. As long
Oh my God. Don't it just make you sick when you hear these motherfuckers try to gaslight you up with their bullshit? Don't it just sicken you? 5-year-old little girl missing. Law enforcement had every opportunity to put their asses in the same orange suits that these other motherfreakers are in, or whatever color over there in Hopkins County uses. They could have been in jumpsuits too. And no. Right? No. 16 kids, not one missing. 4 kids and 1 completely gone. Four people arrested. Them 3 son of a bitches walked free. You tell me. You want to talk about a mother freaking house of horror? A real horror, American horror story? It's right there at 110 Ben Hill. That's a mother freaking horror story where 4 children with a lot of other children were tragically being used and abused on a freaking daily basis by a bunch of sick adults. To the point 1 child completely came up missing, and 3 more were begging not to go back. That older boy will stay wherever he is in order not to go back there. That's a horror story. Now, I ain't quite sure about this Ohio thing. I haven't got all the details. I mean, do I think those children were being, neglected? Absolutely. Now, I don't, is that a form of abuse? Yes, it is. It is a form of abuse. Do I feel that these people are capable of taking care of those 16 kids? Absolutely not. Do I feel that somebody should have intervened way before now? Yes, I do. but none of them came up missing. Yeah, that's exactly second to none. They ain't capable of taking care of themselves. That's true. You know, you got to be able to take care of you in order to take care of others. And if you don't take care of you, you're not going to be able to take care of no one else, right? You're important. You're very important. A lot of people think, oh, they're not important. Yes, you are. You're very important. You got to take care of yourself to take care of others. That's just number one. They are something wrong with those people. I don't know if it's lack of education. I don't know, I don't know what it is. I have no idea. You know, um, there's all kinds of methods out there on the market to keep from having 16 kids. What I'm saying is if you ain't able to take care of the children you got, stop having them. That's common sense. If you're too tired or too fucking lazy or too stupid to take care of the kids you have, then how about not having no more? That just makes sense. I don't know. I don't know, Miss Justice. I heard that there's a gag order on somebody. I heard a judge put a gag order on somebody. It might be the mom. It might be the mom's lawyer. I don't know. But somebody got a gag order. It didn't say who. It just says somebody did. So, but I think we're going to learn a lot more. I think we're going to learn if they were taking illegal substances or not. I think we're going to learn if the abuse went farther than just neglect. I think we're going to learn a whole lot, as this progresses. Yeah, that, yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Second to none. I mean, some of the kids, some kids are born with disabilities. Some children, are born with, I wonder if they got all the, I wonder if they, got all the kids, baby shots and everything. I wonder if, if they were taking them, to the regular checkups and probably not. I mean, if they wasn't sending them to school, they probably wasn't taking them for regular checkups. I don't know. I mean, I come from a really big family, and like every chair at the table was taken, and more chairs needed to be added to the table. That's how big of a family I come from. And, you know, there was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know. I gotta say the house, you know, stayed pretty damn clean. Everybody went to school. You know, we all went to school. Trust me, we were put out the damn door. I don't give a damn how cold it was or how hot it was. You got your ass put out the door to go to school. I don't care if it was a freaking blizzard and you had to hold on to a rope. Get your ass to school. You know, I don't know if my parents believed in education or if they believed in emptying the house out to find some damn peace. I don't know. But I do know that we got sent to school for sure. You know, and I do know we got took to the doctors. Absolutely. You know, no mercy, no mercy. We definitely got took to the doctors to get, you know, vaccinated. That's for damn sure. You know, if you came down sick, you were going to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? If you sneezed, it was like that kid needs took to the doctor. You know, oh hell no. Nobody wants to go to the doctor. Nobody wants to go there. You know, if you felt like a sneeze was coming on, you went to another room where there was nobody to sneeze, so you don't have to go to no doctors. You know, the doctor wasn't too intelligent. For some reason he always wanted to, you know, always had that freaking shot ready or something, right? Nobody wants to meet up with that. It was insane. But there were so many, you know, so many of us that you was lucky if you could find an empty room, right? And that includes the bathroom, because usually there was somebody in there too, already, you know, taking it up. Yeah. But 16 kids in a small house, Lord of mercy. You know, that place probably only had one bathroom, maybe a bath and a half if they're lucky. My grandmother had 10 kids. There you go. There you go, PG's little girl. And, you know, kept them all fed, you know, clothed, roof over their heads. You know, the one thing I found is there's always room at the table for one more. Always room at the table for one more. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jean. You know, that was, you know, my grandparents' home. You know, there's no illegal substances or alcohol. My parents' home, no illegal, you know, stuff like that. No alcohol. Although, you know, I think I think every one of my parents' kids, you know, we were all partiers, all of us. We were partiers. We didn't party around, you know, we didn't party around my parents' house. You better not be doing that. But we did party, you know. We partied elsewhere. And, you know, when I was a young adult and had my own house, you know, got my own place, you know, I was always partying. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was all into the party. It's like, you know, birthday parties, Christmas parties, Halloween parties, party. 4th of July party. Everybody just wanted to party. House parties, hotel parties, you know, all kinds of parties. I mean, they was, if you looked online, there was a party somewhere all the time to go to. Like, there's people that open their house up to total strangers. Just come on in. You just walk in off the street. It was crazy. You know, they had the clubs, they had everything. I'm not going to say it wasn't fun. Right? That's his twin right there. We did that back in the 80s and 90s, PG. Um, I don't, I don't know. Um, like in the 50s and 60s, they had soda shops and stuff like that, and like dance halls, kind of like dance hall, for people to party at. And then in the 70s and 80s, they had like the disco clubs, um, type things for the people. And then, you know, and that was the time they were selling Tupperware and stuff like that. Um, and then you hit the 90s and 2000s. 90s and 2000s is pretty much when you know, people were clubbing, people were hotel parties, people were having, you know, a lot of house parties, a lot of, you know, just, you know, send out a message through online, and people would just show up. I don't remember. Well, they didn't even have internet. They didn't even have internet back, you know, that I know of in the 70s and 80s. You know, I don't think people had computers back then. I don't know. I don't know. Some people might have. I don't know. Um, I mean, computers got really big, you know, in the late 90s, in the 2000s. That's when, like, you know, almost every household was getting computers. Um, and you had all the, you know, all the access to different parties you could just show up at, open house parties. um I don't know if that kind of stuff existed before then or not, you know. Yeah, that's, you know, I really love history. I love, you know, I like seeing stuff, I like seeing stuff that my grandparents, would have been into, my great grandparents, my great great grandparents. I like to see how people lived through each century. Um, I don't know why I'm intrigued with it. I really like the Victorian era the most. Something about that Victorian era, Um, I liked the style of the furniture. I liked the style of the clothing. Um, I just, you know, like I kind of liked how them people lived to a certain extent, but then not. Um, but not. What I'm saying is, if you can mix the Victorian in with the modern, it would be beautiful. I'm going to tell you something. That California gold rush was a nightmare. That was a freaking nightmare. I mean, so many people, got that gold fever and totally destroyed them. Right? It destroyed them, took them out. Some of them became greedy and couldn't get enough. Right? And they ended up losing, more than they would have ever gained by staying, by staying there and trying to, get more, when they had plenty and should have got out before they lost everything. It was insane, totally insane.
I keep the commandments and I do what I'm supposed to do. I'll see her in the commandments.
Oh my gosh. This dude he's a lying mother freaker. Ain't one of the commandments, thou shalt not lie? Ain't one of the commandments, thou shalt not kill? Ain't one of the commandments, oh Lord. Don Wells, I think that, you're broke about all of them, to be honest. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Wasn't you married to Pam when you got with Candace? I think so. You don't do nothing but fucking lie. I truly, in my opinion, believe that you plotted against your 5-year-old innocent child and had it taken to a swimming hole and completely destroyed to save your fucking own ass from going to prison. I truly believe that. So you need to shut the fuck up about the commandments. Stop using God. If you're not going to worship God and you're not going to do what's righteous in the sight of God, for God, then just stop it. Because all you're doing is trying to use the Bible. You're trying to hide behind the Bible. You're trying to use the Bible to make your evil self look good. You need to stop it. Mother freaker, if you told the truth, your ass would be in prison, and you know it. You fucking know it. So you just need to shut up. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. People like that make me sick. I cannot stand people who use the Bible as a hammer. I don't like people that use the Bible, they want to twist it to fit their narratives. I don't like people who do stuff like that. You're not supposed to do that. The Bible isn't sitting on that table to be used in that manner. You're not supposed to run around hollering, praise the Lord, hallelujah, to get your foot in somebody's door and do evil to them. You're portraying to be a Christian when you're not. And there's a lot of people who do that. A lot of people, some people I think believe they're going to heaven. They believe they're holier than thou when they're more lost than lost, right? That's my opinion. I think there's people sitting in churches in the front row thinking they're holier than thou, and they're probably going to end up in hell because they're down there causing strife between everybody else, right? They're sitting in the front row because they put in the most money to help keep the church up. And they get treated like royalty. And they sit around and talk about other people and make other people feel uncomfortable and unwanted and everything else. And these people really think, I guess, that they're going to, that they're going to go into heaven or something. I don't think so. You can't buy your way into heaven. I don't care how much you're giving that church. You can't buy your way into heaven. And that preacher treating you with royalty because you're giving more than other people, he's fucking wrong too. Yeah. And I don't waste no time saying it so everybody in the back can hear it. Because those people in the back are probably the ones going to get through the pearly gate. A lot of those folks sitting up front are just there to see and be seen. It's double standards. They all be acting like family and treating other people like outcasts. You can't be doing that. That's wrong. And a lot of people, you know how many people I have tell me, PG, I don't like to go to church because I don't feel welcomed. Well, you shouldn't be going to church. You shouldn't be walking into God's house to feel welcomed by those humans in there. You should be going to God's house to be feeling welcomed by God. And if you're going in there for the right reason, if you're going in there to feel welcomed by God and you still don't feel welcome, then you probably need to go find another church. Because if you're walking into a church house to find God, to be welcomed by God himself, and you're not feeling welcomed, God probably isn't there. So you need to go somewhere else, right? Even God don't want to be in there with those people. He probably don't feel welcomed either. You'll find him outside. Go back out there and get him. Just saying. You don't have to go to a church. You don't have to be in a church to be with God. God's everywhere. You find God in your own living room. You find the Lord. You can find the Lord at your front door, your back door, your kitchen. They're everywhere. You don't have to go in that church house to find them. You got to remember, Lot and his family wasn't going out to no church to find God. They were staying right there in their house. They were staying right there locked up inside their own house with God. right? With God. God knew exactly where they was. He sent the angels there to tell Lot and his family to get out of that city before it's destroyed. Don't look back. Keep your eyes forward. Don't be looking back. Too many people look back. Too many people want to live in the past. They need to live in the present and the future. You're not going that way. You already been there. You know, I've always taken note that people really looking for the Lord, you know, they don't come into church and go down to the front. They come into church and they just sit back in the back, you know, they're there to find God, to listen to God's word, get up and get out of there. They're not there to hobnob and hang around, and you know, they don't need those people. They need God. That's what they're there for. I'm second to none. It depends on the church. It depends on the church. I'm going to tell you something. I went to this one church, one particular church. There was two people made me feel welcomed. One was the preacher himself, and one was a lady, a real kind lady in the church, which wanted to be in, you know, she wanted to be in that little clique of people, but they kept her on the outside too. And, you know, I was new just coming into that church. And only two people in the whole place. And there was a whole lot of people, trust me, like a lot. And only two had any kindness in them. And I'm going to tell you something. There was a whole lot of them in there trying to stir up problems and stir up strife because they felt they had that power because, you know, they were giving a little money to the church. And they did. And they, you know, they did. They did hold some power in that church. And that's just not the kind of places that, you know, that's not the kind of places that you want to be, you know. But there was, you know, two good people in there. And hell, if you can find one good one, it's probably worth, you know, hanging around for. And I, you know, and I seen these other people come there. And I personally knew these people, and I personally knew, you know, they were evil people, like not good people at all. And I seen how this church embraced them. I seen how, you know, these people that make good people feel like outcasts, embrace that evil, help that evil, did good to that evil. And that evil, you know, turned on them. That they finally figured out, you know, what they had in the midst of them. But, you know, they treated other people badly. I watched it with my own eyes. And I'm like, you know, it is what it is. you know, a lot of times evil will be embraced. Exactly. See, and that's the way I am. I'm nice to everybody. I don't make anyone feel unwelcomed at all. I've always been like that. I've always went a lot of places that I didn't feel welcomed at all. And those same people came to my door, and my door was open, and they felt very comfortable and very welcomed in my home, because I don't make people feel the way they made me feel. I don't think that's right. And I don't let them kind of people stop me from being who I am. I don't allow it. Evil will try to make you a different person. I ain't going to do that. I don't have to. Ain't going to. If you're a good person, man, then make sure you stay that person. Because evil wants to destroy it. That's what they're after. They're after destroying, everything good. And they'll destroy you. They'll destroy you, put a lot of hate in your heart, make you not want to help others, make you not want to treat others with respect and kindness and caring. They'll try to make you, harden your heart. Don't let them. Just understand the source and move on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. Snobbed in some chats, I don't get snobbed in those chats. I get attacked. Right? I walk into some of them chats and they're like, look, it's Paige. What is she on here? Right? What's the matter? You devils come over here in our chat. An angel can't come in yours. Right? You don't like angels showing up? Let's take a ride. Look at Andy. Look at Andy's face, man. He's so happy. He's so happy. He's having a fun day. He's having a fun day Sunday. Look at that. Then he takes Ryan up on his property. Look at this. Look at this. OMG. Take a look at that. Wow. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. What would Ohio people say about this? I mean, if this over here, if this was so tragic, if that was so tragic, a horror story, they say, what the hell was this? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Wow. Look at, whoa. And there's the cabin. Look at that thing. That was a mother freaking lean-to. Whoa. Lord have mercy. And he's going to steal the grill. Look at that. Wow. And they had like somewhere in here, there's like this freaking Papa Bear, Mama Bear, freaking Brother Bear, Sister Bear, right there. I think it is back here. Look at that. They got like a freaking, they got this freaking outhouse that goes on forever. Like forever. Look at that. They got mother freaking toilets going, like 5 toilets going in a row. What the freak? Like the whole family can crap at the same time. Whoa. Lord have mercy. And then, think that's bad? Go down here. Go down here to old Freddy's place. Look at this. Check this one out. Whoa. You ain't seen nothing yet. It just gets better. Look at that. He even took the grocery cart. They even took the mother freaking grocery cart. Look at that. That's why you can't get a cart at the store, because they done took it. That's why you got to pay. That's why you got to pay for your cart at some of these places. Right? It's like, give me your money and we'll give it back. We'll give it back when you bring our cart to us. That's because of Fred Hill. Everybody's got to pay money. Look at this. Jeez. Even the damn tree's trying to get up and run. Look at that tree trying to get up out of the ground. It's trying to get up out of the damn ground and run away. Whoa. Yep. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Those people in Ohio ain't seen, and those people in Ohio, man, they have not seen, they ain't seen Tennessee. They have not seen Ben Hill Road, right? They have not seen Ben Hill Road. God have mercy. Unbelievable. It does. It was ready to get up and run. It was like a fucking Wizard of Oz movie where the trees trying to chase, you know, in this case, they was trying to, you know, roots don't fail me now. But the trees in the Wizard of Oz trying to chase people and shit. All weird. Even the mother freaking trees, even the trees were getting, you know, we're getting sedated up there with all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna tell you, see. Right, Denny? I would tell you. These were some sick individuals. I bet you the face on those people in Ohio would be priceless if they was down there in Tennessee. It would be, I would love for 5 minutes just to hear what they'd have to say about that. Like, Lord have mercy. We actually need them on Summer's case. Right? We need them on Summer. I mean, they know how to hype it. They know how to hype it right there in Ohio. They know how to they know how to take a mother freaking molehill and make it into a mountain. We need somebody in Tennessee to freaking, you know, to take that mountain and make it 3 times the size of the mountain it is for Summer. Summer's case is already a mountain. That's for sure. I think that when Don Wells was talking to Ziggy, he was talking about Ziggy getting her daughter back. Ziggy lost her daughter to her mother, and she had to fight her mother to get her daughter back. And Don Wells said something to the tune, "How would you like to lose her after getting her back?" Which, you know, seemed to possibly it seemed to possibly apply that Summer had somehow had been gotten back as well from someplace. But they did. Dudley said that they came out after she was dancing in front of the for sale barrel. Dudley said that they did come out of the house with her asleep and took her someplace. You know, it's very possible that that they was taking Summer and letting people, people have her for a certain amount of time before getting her back. And maybe somehow, maybe somehow they thought they wasn't going to get her back from someone, but they did. Maybe somebody had her longer than they were supposed to. I don't know, but it did sound weird, for him, the way he said it. So I don't know. Right. Yeah, I'm not much worried about that. PG's little girl, she can't do nothing about you telling the truth, right? I don't know what's up with her and Six Up. I mean, like, that's all Six Up talks about. If you tune into Six Up, it's Ziggy, 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 right? It's nothing but Ziggy. And so I don't know. I have, them two, they're like obsessed with each other or something. I don't understand it, but I'm not interested in it either. I'm not into that. I ain't into that. Let's talk about, about Ziggy, because Ziggy ain't nothing to talk about. She's nothing to talk about. She's irrelevant. She's totally irrelevant to Summer's case. Right? She don't know a fucking thing about June 15, 2021. She wasn't there. Ziggy was not there. She's an after the fact, which means, uncredible as hell, irrelevant to it all. So, no use to talk about her. The one that was there is Fred Hill. That's who was there. Laura was there. Andy was there. Jody Sue was there. Don Wells, Candace, Grandis, Hunter, Allison. These are all people that were there. Chad Arnold. Marlena Crawford's, her brother, her sister-in-law. These are all people that were, were present during this time. And those are the people that are relevant. And those are the people, that you want to talk to and talk about. They're all relevant. Ziggy knows nothing other than she's afraid of losing Fred, and she'll do whatever she has to try to keep him. Like, she can't shut up long enough for someone else to question him. She just can't shut the fuck up. She's afraid, she won't shut up because she's afraid Fred will slip up and Summer's case will be solved. Right? I don't want to hear Ziggy. She hasn't ever been for any missing child. For no missing child. She wasn't for Summer. She wasn't for any missing child that she's ever covered. Because she was too busy being for herself. She was too busy, gaslighting the hell out of people and taking them to the cleaners. She's one of those people, untrustworthy human beings. She's untrustworthy as hell. She told those people she'd pay them back and she didn't. Don't lie to people. Don't tell people you'll pay them back and not pay them back. If you don't plan on paying somebody back, then don't borrow anything from them. At least be honest with them. If you give me something, I can't give you it back. I'm not, I'm in financial despair. It didn't look good for me yesterday. It don't look good for me today. And it probably ain't going to be good for me tomorrow. If you can help, I appreciate it. But if you need it, you need to keep it. She should have been honest. Honesty will get you a lot farther in life. Than wickedness will ever get you. It's wicked to lie. Honesty will get you in the pearly gate. You just need to be honest. I would rather eat a bowl of soup and be honest than to have a damn steak dinner and get it dishonestly. I don't like to sit at the table with the devil. That's for sure. People need to be honest. Ziggy wasn't. She wasn't. She still ain't. She still ain't honest. If she was honest, she'd keep her mouth shut and let Fred answer his own questions for the sake of Summer. Right? Ziggy can kiss my backside. That's what Ziggy can do. Because I still remember. I still remember what the fuck she did to me. When I wasn't trying to do anything but help a little 5-year-old missing child. I ain't forgot that. That bitch is evil. And that's the truth. That ain't my opinion. That's the truth. So she can back up and shut up. And Fred can pretty much back up and shut up too, because the only thing comes out of his mouth is lies. Biggest liar I've ever seen. I think he believes them. I think he's got one of them issues where he believes his own damn lies. Just saying. I mean, that's my opinion. And then, you know, like, she comes on and all you see is her in the kitchen, freaking, you know, doing all that, freaking has her freaking pot spinning on the stove, you know, doing all that weird stuff, and I don't even know what the hell she's throwing in it, but she's throwing stuff in it. And she calls that cooking. Right? I don't even know what the hell she's making. But Fred, every time I see Fred, man, he looks more and more and more like a skeleton. He looks more like a Halloween decoration every time I see him. You can tell, you know, most guys get with a woman and they start getting, you know, they start gaining weight. They don't start losing it. I mean, this guy got with Ziggy looking like the picture of health out of a halfway house. Out of all the places, he just comes out of prison, goes into a halfway house. He's looking like the picture of health. He gets with Ziggy, and he went downhill instead of uphill, right? Go figure. I don't know what the fuck she's cooking on that stove, but it don't look like he wants any. Yeah, I seen a picture of him just recently, that she posted or somebody posted it. But you know, he was mother freaking looking like old that looking like fucking Paul Kittle, right? He was looking like fucking Paul Kittle. I was like, damn, he be looking like Paul Kittle. Ziggy be looking like Ma, and he looked like Pa. Yeah. I was like, whoa. Old dude looked like a rack of bones. Is Jim running a mile a minute? I really think she is. I truly believe that she is on something because I believe she's on something because she's always picking at herself. You know, she can't sit still. She's picking. I hear that's what those kind of people, do when they're jonesing. Nana for Life, she decided to come and join us because she couldn't get no attention anywhere else. All right. She can't get attention anywhere else. She's the slot box that was, all kissing the crack of Dawn and Candace Wells, right? I'm surprised you got your tongue back to come in here and start running your freaking stink pie hole in my chat, right? But I leave you to my mods. I'll throw you to my mods. People like her don't make no sense. They're busy. They're, the smell of Dawn and Candace Wells, the aroma of Dawn and Candace, rots the mind. She's been up there getting her mind rotted. She's all hanging up there. Saying, look at me, look at me. Yeah, she's a big Wells supporter. She doesn't care if they got substantiated charges all over their asses for 3 boys and a little girl if she wouldn't have been missing. She don't care about that. She is a Ziggy. She is a Ziggy. She not here about these kids, to help these kids, to care about these kids. She got that ass out here for attention because she don't get none anywhere else. It's sad. She's a lonely bitch. Getting no attention. This is the only way she can get some. That's why she brings her ass into my sanctuary. And then she has to run back out because demons ain't welcomed here, right? She has to run that ass back away. She should just put her name, Nana for Life. She should put her freaking name, Nana for Lice, because that's what she's going to catch up there on Ben Hill Road. Bunch of lice bugs. Oh, did she get her leg amputated? She's in here running her mouth. She's in here showing hate after she done got one leg took. Damn. Well, she can hop that ass the fuck on out of here, right? That's what she can do. I don't even feel sorry for that bitch. I don't feel sorry for her. I don't even like her. That is one, that Nana for Life, I don't like at all. Period. No way, form, or how. Hey, I'm straight up fucking honest. I'm not going to sit there, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, this person's such a good person and everything, and you know, all the good stuff, and just because they're gone. I'm going to tell you something. If somebody was a mother freaking demon when they was alive, then they a demon when they dead. That's just how it is. Don't sugarcoat it. I don't even care. Oh, I don't like her. I don't like her at all. She just runs around and spreads hate. She spreads hate all the time, man. She come in here just now trying to spread it. She loves to spread hate. That's what she does. You know. I don't have nothing for haters. You know, it wasn't necessary for her to come in here tonight. I mean, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say a damn thing at all. You know, I'm not the enemy. I'm not the enemy. She's a dumb bitch. I ain't the enemy. I'm for these missing kids. I'm the one trying to help them. I'm the one trying to be a voice for the voiceless. I'm the one up here trying to bring the truth to the table. I'm the one trying to put everything together to help these kids. Right? I'm not the enemy. And anybody with a brain would respect that. She ain't got one. That's her problem. That's her loss, not mine. I don't give a fucking shit about her. You know, I don't go around spreading lies about my neighbors. The Bible tells you, you know, not to bear false witness against your neighbors. It doesn't tell you not to tell the truth. I mean, like Don and Candace and Grandis, they're evil people. Little Summer didn't deserve anything that she got from these people. She was an innocent little girl. A little girl that's missing, a little girl with no voice. They still have a voice and lying a mile a minute. Using it to lie a mile a minute, using it to get away from going to prison, using it to take a whole community of people to the cleaners. Well, there's little girls out there with no voice at all, needing to be found, brought home, and justice served. That's what I give a fuck about. I don't give a shit about Don, Candace, and Grandis. And if that lady wants to go care about it, that's her problem, not mine. Probably why she lost her fucking leg. Up there hanging around garbage. What the hell you expect? What the hell you expect when you're up there hanging around pure trash? Go running around pure trash, you're going to get infection. She's probably lucky it was just a leg. She hops back up there, it might be something more. Who knows? I don't know. I don't care. Summer has always been the reason for this channel. This channel, I'm going to tell you something. God put this channel together, not PG. I didn't even plan. The only reason I started this channel was because Ziggy would not let me She would not, any way, form, or she wanted to have a big shit show instead of letting me explain what I wanted to explain for Summer's sake. She would not let me explain that these people were evil. She would not let me explain that people did not need to be supporting them. She did not let me explain that these people were doing nothing for this missing little girl that we were all looking for. We were all trying to bring home, that we all wanted to be found. She would not let me explain anything on Summer's behalf. And that's why this channel was started. Because it had to be started in order for the truth to be brought out for Summer's sake. And it wasn't started for anything more or anything less than that. And fucking Don and Candace knows it. Grandis knows it. Ziggy knows it. Fred, Jody, Sue, and all the rest know it. And God knows it. I don't want to be here. I don't like being here. But I am here because Summer needed someone who would tell the truth. And I want to tell you something. I've been here for nothing. I've been here for absolutely nothing. Do you think I ain't got better things to do with my time than to be here? Because I got plenty to do. Trust me, plenty to do. But I'm here because Summer needs us. I'm here because that little girl's still missing. I'm here because she still needs to be found, brought home, and justice served on her behalf, along with a lot of other children. That's why I'm here. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. That's the honest to God's truth. I don't care. When I came here, I said, I don't care if there's one person or 1,000. I'm going to get the truth out for that little girl. And I mean it. And I have busted my ass to get the truth for her. Unlike any other channel out here. I have shut down so many damn lies and filled those blanks with the truth that is pathetic over the last 5 years. Let me tell you something. Nobody works that hard unless they're truly dedicated to these missing children. Unless they're out here for the right reason instead of the wrong one. I don't ask anybody out here for nothing. For nothing. I don't ask for a damn thing. Other than people to be a voice for the voiceless. For people to keep doing what they're doing. Because these children need us. That is it. And to pray for them. Because I know God moves mountains. So, you know, if that hop along fucking bitch wants to keep trying to spread hatred, go for it. Because it won't prevail. Evilness doesn't ever trump righteousness. I'll let you know that right now. She can take that ass and go burn in hell with it. I don't care. I'm not here for, I'm not here for the drama. I haven't ever been here for the drama. I had enough of that at Ziggy's. When I came out here to this YouTube channel, I thought that it was a bona fide community bonded together for missing children. And I found out it was nothing but a motherfucking shit show for a bunch of freaking creators to sit up there like they were on thrones, treating their chats like peasants and expecting them to support them up with their hard-earned fucking money. Throw dollars at their fucking feet. When if it wasn't for that chat, the piece of shit sitting up there on what they thought their throne, wouldn't be nothing but a peasant. A real fucking peasant. Because they needed what the chat had to pay their fucking bills. I thought, damn. This is a cesspool from hell. And they're using little missing children to sit up here and lord it over and treat good people like shit. I'll time you out and I'll block you. You need to say what I want you to say. You need to go with the program or you're going to get blocked. You're going to get timed out. You're not saying what we want you to say. You better get with the herd of cattle that we're leading to hell, or we're going to cast you out. Well, baby, I'm going to tell you what, I wouldn't want to be cast in. You don't treat people like that. What them motherfuckers didn't want you to know is you hold all the power. That chat holds all the power. If it wasn't for the chat, they wouldn't have a channel. And they didn't like the fact that I opened everybody's eyes up to it. You think PG's liked? I'm not liked. I'm not liked because I set the record straight out here. These people didn't even want, if you mention God or prayer or anything, they time you out. They'll block you. They made people afraid to speak about religion. Well, I noticed they're all speaking about it now. I'm not going to come out here and deny my God for no damn body. I don't want to be in your fucking chat. I ain't all hard up like that. You can't treat me with the utmost respect. You can kiss my ass. I ain't going nowhere I don't feel welcomed anyway. You're only going to get what you demand. You want respect, you got to demand it. People can only treat you the way you let them. They didn't want you knowing that. They didn't want you knowing the power you hold. They should have been kissing your ass, not the other way around. That's why PG really isn't liked. Because I tell the truth. I don't need anybody's money out here. I don't need their support. I ain't trying to take old people to the cleaners so I can pay my bills. I ain't asking nobody to send me pizza and DoorDash. I ain't hitting people up on Facebook asking if they can pay my rent. Fuck no. Put a 1 in the chat if I've ever put a 1 in that chat if you know for a fact PG has not ever asked you for a damn thing on this panel or off this panel. I have not ever asked no one for nothing. Not one time on Facebook have I ever hit anybody up and asked for anything, period. Not one damn thing. Hell no. When I hit somebody up on Facebook, it is to answer them back for whatever they've asked me, or to just say hi to them, how's their day going, God bless, much love, or to say good night, or to try to make their day a little better than it has been. I give, I don't take. People don't like hearing the truth. That's why they don't like me. I don't tell people I love you just to hear myself talk. When I say I love you guys and I respect what you do, I mean it. That's the damn truth. If it wasn't, I wouldn't say it. Who am I so worried about that I'm going to defy my God? Are you kidding me? They ain't a human born, and their pappy's already gone that I fear. So the chances of them being born is slim to very, very none. Hell no. I just took a liking to that little girl that was full of light and kindness and love. And I decided to step up for her the way I wish someone had stepped up for me when I lived in a house of fucking hell. When I had to find God in a hallway. Or more so, he found me. And I got crucified for it. But it didn't stop me. Because God's children are unstoppable. God put me here because people needed to hear the truth. Not just in Summer's case, but people being mistreated in these chats needed to hear the truth as well. They needed to hear that they were indispensable. They needed to hear that they packed all the power. They needed to hear that no one should be treating them the way they were being treated. And I know that. People needed to hear that God is real, and so is hell. People needed to hear they need to stay on the right path and not ever be afraid to speak about religion, no matter where they're at. People needed to hear that this ain't no throne up here that somebody's sitting on. Anybody could sit up here. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to sit up here. A bunch of fucking criminals are sitting up here. Like Benny Keys. Dude's a fucking moron. And he's sitting up here. Lying fucking criminal ass Ziggy sitting up here. Bunch of fucking nobodies trying to feel like somebody by gaslighting a whole lot of humans that had kind hearts and wanted to do what's righteous in the sight of God for a lot of missing children. They wanted to sit up here and act like they cared about what you care about, these missing children, in order to take you to the cleaners. Bunch of sad sack son of a bitches. That's what they was. I'll be the first to call it out. And that's why I'm out here. I got picked to come out here and set the record straight. I guess I'm not saying I'm the only person on the whole earth that's supposed to have done this. Other people probably was and didn't. Some people don't obey as good as others, I guess. I'm going to tell you, when I first came here, I knew that chat was a lot of good people. I'm not going to say there was a lot of evil ones too. There was a lot of evil ones riding hard with the devil. But there's a whole lot of good ones that wasn't deserving the mistreatment they was getting. I felt sorry. Felt real sorry for those folks. Nobody should ever be treated like that. I just hope this community gets more people like me, because that's what it needs. It needs more people like PG. It needs more people out here doing it for the right reasons. It needs more people who don't give a shit about money and truly cares about helping others. I guess it needs more people out here that's broken like me. More people out here that's been done so fucking wrong. They want everything done right. That's what this community needs. People that's willing to go that extra mile to get the truth for their victims and not give a fuck about them suspects. Because no child in this world deserves to be used and abused and mistreated to the severity that these missing children were done. Every one of these children deserve to have their truth told, and they deserve justice against the evil bastards that did it. And we won't give up until we see that justice served. We want to be able to say, we got justice for you, Summer. We got justice for you, Michael. We got justice for you, Sebastian. We got justice for you, Jack and Lily. We got justice for you. And we got justice for all the other victims that could have been in the future if we wouldn't have got justice. We couldn't save you, but we can save others by getting the justice that you deserve. So many people was pissed off because the cat got let out of the bag about Don and Candace's substantiated charges. But there was a hell of a lot of people happy as hell that the cat was out of the bag, because these people, Don and Candace, had been around them and around their children. And they was on the fence about whether they could trust them or they couldn't, because they didn't know the truth. But they do now. And they're no longer on a fence, and they no longer going to let Don and Candace anywhere near them or their children. And that's how you save others. with the truth. But people thought you should hold that back. You should hold it back and let others become victims. Oh, fucking hell no. Not on our watch. That ain't going to happen. Because over here, we're going to do what's right. And fuck what's wrong. A lot of people are angry because you know what? They're not as strong as us. They're not as smart as us. And they're not as righteous as us. And that irritates the fuck out of their demons. So be it. I guess their demons just gonna have to be irritated. Ain't my problem, it's theirs. Thank God for that, right? Thank God for that. But anyway, I came out here to talk about that Ohio case. Yes, it is. I don't know if it's a horror story. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. But I think the real horror story right now is sitting in Tennessee. The real horror story is law enforcement could have did so much that they didn't do for a missing, beautiful 5-year-old little girl who was full of light, love, and kindness, who did not deserve anything that she went through in the short little 5 years that she was on this earth. God bless her. God bless that baby. And may God help us find her, bring her home, and get justice for her. Keep those prayers going up for Summer. Keep them going up because God is answering. And I truly believe that her case will be solved. I do. I believe her case will be solved very soon. I believe Michael's case will be solved very soon. Sebastian Rogers. Well, I pray that somehow, some way, his dad can find some peace, some kind of comfort in all of this. Jack and Lily, I truly believe they're still alive. That's just my opinion. I believe they're alive. For some reason, I do believe those two children there are still with us. I feel like the mother knows something we don't. And I think they'll surface at some point. They'll surface. The Nancy Guthrie case, I don't think it'll ever be solved. I just don't believe that it'll ever be solved. I think that'll be a case that goes down in history. I've got my thoughts on it. It's sad, very sad case. I do not think she's still with us. I think, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, that it was inside, not outside. That's what I think. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe it was an inside. For some people, some people to benefit from. That's my opinion. But, you had higher education. You had a lot higher education working in that case. What I'm saying is suspects were very well educated, too educated for that case to be solved. That's just my opinion. But we can keep praying. We can keep praying. Like I said, nothing's impossible with God. Nothing is impossible. With God, all things are possible, right? That's true. And then we have little Genesis and Jehovah, which we know is no longer with us. In both cases, the parents are being prosecuted. And it seems like justice will be served. Praise God for that. In this case in Ohio, I hope those people get the help they need. I hope those children get the help they need. I hope everything works out for all of them. That was a very dysfunctional situation. In a case like that, you really don't know who to blame. You have no idea who to blame, because it just seems like all of them were lost. I don't know. But keep those prayers going up for all of these people. Keep them going up for one another. Family prays together, stays together. People are counting on your prayers. You don't know it, but there's a whole lot of people in here counting on your prayers. There's a lot of people in here right now, a lot of people in here saying, Lord, I sure hope they pray for me. Let them pray for me. Because they're needing prayers. Unspoken, but still needed. Nobody's life is perfect. And everybody ain't got a preacher to call or a church to lean on. They just got themselves. And sometimes they feel that their prayers just ain't enough to reach heaven. And they'd love to have someone else's prayers reaching up there with them and for them. So make sure you pray for these people. That's what God put us here for. He didn't put us here to just pray for ourselves, but to pray for others as well. Because everybody needs prayer, right? That's true. And I'm going to get out of here. PG's going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here before I start feeling a little sorry for trouble making Hop alone. Because I don't like to feel sorry for evil people. So I'm going to be out of here. And know that I'm praying for you. All of you who are truly here for the right reasons, truly here for these missing children. God bless you. God bless you. I'm praying for you. Good night. God bless. Much love.